What do you do when you have churches that is already scoping out your man, your woman, or scoping out a man, a woman, and setting things up to cause division so they can get your lady and give her to somebody else, and your man to give him to somebody else? What do you do when that's not even the case? You're just simply in there and you find that there is this little inner, this trafficking that's going on in the church, where you're being told who your husband is and you're being told who your wife is, and you're being pushed toward this person. Know God for yourself. Get on up out of that. There are people who have destroyed marriages because somebody wanted your husband. Somebody wanted your wife. So y'all were having problems, and what do? You went to get counseling at the church, and you're believing what these individuals are saying, and you may get counsel on yourself, and they somehow do some trafficking and do the stuff, and they do not teach you about reconciliation, but somehow do all this stuff to cause your marriage to be divided, and you may even still be in the church together, and now this man is being moved over here to this other woman who has always desired him, or this person that wants this person for their kid, their daughter, their niece, their nephew, their niece. Then they want your husband's over here. They get y'all divorced, and now they're getting your husband, your ex, because they wanted him for, or they wanted your wife for this brother, this sister, or for themselves. Did I say this sister? Wanted your wife to be with some other brother, and even in some case with some other sister. Okay, there's a whole lot of stuff going on up in there. There is all the stuff that's going on in some churches, that they're splitting families. They look and see that your wife has a potential to be whatever, and they want that woman. So when they get a hint, they smell a little blood in that relationship, and you go there, you're not using your discernment, but you're trusting completely. You're divided. Your family is divided. And even if you're not divorced, you could be separated, and they are doing stuff to cause y'all to be even more divided, and trying to get you with somebody else, and some of them trying to get with you. You're single, and people trying to push you over here to this person. This stuff goes on. And as I said, break up couples, or promote it, because they want her, they want him for someone else. You don't think that goes on in church? It does. You have to have your eyes open so you can know that when you're getting guidance, ensure that you're getting the right guidance. And how do you avoid that? How do you know? Is when you first have a relationship with Jesus Christ. Stop running to the church for counseling all the time. Your first thing is to run to God. Let him be your counsel. Husbands and wives, run to Jesus together. You and your husband go before God and seek God, and let God show you. Couples, be careful all that you share, because sometimes people, and especially if you're single, sometimes people, y'all ain't married yet, one of y'all or both of y'all is potential for somebody else. So sometimes the counsel that you're going to get, or even if they're doing separate counseling, you can be getting counseling together, but they will counsel you separately and tell you something different and tell him something different. That happened. It has happened. I've had where I've been somewhere before, and they don't believe in counseling. They don't believe in counseling couples, because you have to be married or you have to be engaged with a wedding date before you get counseling. And so we went to the world to get counseling. All I'm telling you is your whole focus should be getting to know Jesus Christ. Don't put your relationship in the hands of man. Put your relationship in the hand of God. And he's going to take a lot of people, they think it's foreign. It sounds foreign to them to run to God first and give God your business. And let God lead you to whoever. And then allow the Holy Spirit to give you discernment when it's going in a different direction. If you get uneasy in your spirit, pay attention to it. God is a God of order. God is a God of reconciliation. God does not want divorce. Sometimes it happens. You know, when I was married, I didn't know. I wasn't living a saved life, and neither was my husband saved. Just wasn't. We lived our own way. We did what we wanted to do. And I did everything like the world. Okay, it's not working out. I've done everything I can possibly do. It's still not working out. Well, I'm filing for divorce. What I've learned now is what God has taught me. And what I know now is I can't be at the forefront of my own life. I need to give to God. Now, as I said before, in the marriage, more than enough, the biblical reasons for divorce was there. But again, I wasn't even thinking of that. I was just like, oh, well, bye. Here's what I'm saying to y'all. How can I be a person? I can think there'd be some people, well, if you got divorced and this and that, how can you be advisor to me? I'm not being an advisor. I'm sharing with you what the Holy Spirit is telling me to share. It's the same thing, you know, Paul, formerly Saul, was a murderer and hated all Christians. How could he now be someone who can speak God's word when he was against it? He has no past experience with God other than being against anyone who proclaimed Jesus Christ, you know, outside of the boundaries of the laws that they established back then. But God used him. So that is my qualification. I'm not qualified. But Christ is qualified, and he's using me. And a lot of the things that I'm saying to you are things that I am learning and know better now. But it doesn't make me any less qualified to speak to you if the Lord sets me on the platform. Whether you receive it or not, that's on you. Protect your relationships. Open up your eyes. Get before the Lord. Surrender yourself, surrender your relationships to God. Don't guard your heart and don't open up your business and your life and your marriage to everyone, because there are some churches, there are some churches, not all. You'll find churches now that's wonderful and is about reconciliation and will help you and follow biblical principles in restoring your marriage, in getting things right, in being in premarital counseling, all of those things to help you to be successful in your marriage. But there are also a lot of churches that y'all coming through the door, y'all are like fresh meat. And once they get wind of a problem in the relationship, it is an opportunity for them to come in and pounce and to take. If someone has taken your husband, if someone has taken your wife, if someone has taken your significant and done all those things, go to your Heavenly Father. Don't you worry about it. Don't you fret. If that person is for you, they're going to be with you regardless. But what you need to do is surrender all to Jesus Christ and let him do the fighting for you. Because anything that required cunning and scheming to get will not be maintained. It will not last. And a lot of times things that look like they're lasting, it's not. The enemy just has to let that happen. They have that branding. I stole your man and I got him and I can keep him and we're happily ever after. Not really. There's still the blood stains of the person you butchered to get it, to get him, to get her, to be in this relationship. Who did you hurt? Who did you leave? There are people who have left their husbands and their wives and just, I'm leaving her, you leave him, let's get together. So this video is going longer. It's okay. It's okay. Give everything to God. Give everything to him. I promise you, he will restore you much further. It may be by bringing that person back to you who is meant to be with you. But at the same time, if it doesn't happen, Jesus is faithful to do more than you can ask or think. But let it go and come to Christ and get before him. But open up your eyes too. And get your family up out of that mess. Get your family up out of that stuff before it's too late. People will give prophetic words to your wife and give a prophetic word to your husband that is not from God and destroy your home. Bring division. Cause you to lose the ear of your husband. He don't listen to you no more because you've convinced your husband that you are a demon. They'll pull your wife from you. Your wife no longer listens to you and takes your counsel and respects you because she's in the church where they're telling her all these things that brings division because you are a demon. How could that be? You are a husband. And even the saved wife or saved husband sanctify the unsaved. So even God is not telling you to jump ship. Now, I know there's some situations could be different, circumstances. I'm not there, but what I'm getting on in, there's people that's in there to split up your marriage so they can get your husband, so they can get your wife. Split up your relationship so they can get the man that you're supposed to be with. They can get the woman that you're supposed to be with. And if either one of you are not in tune with God, or y'all not having gotten the relationship, or you're out of the will of God, or you're falling into sin, what's going to happen? The enemy can come in and totally take that out. I don't know what God's will is going to be for my life, what he's going to have for me, who's going to be in my life at what time. But I'll tell you, I will completely trust him. I go to him first. I go to him first. I go to him first with everything. Everything. You go to Jesus first. Stop going to man. And when you go to them, use discretion and listen to the Holy Spirit. Something in here, if you have a relationship with God and it doesn't sit right, whoa. Talk to God. Don't ignore it. All right? The enemy hates families. Don't let him break up yours. And don't let him destroy your potential to have a family before you even get a chance to. All right? Bye.